Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Mahbouba Hashemi.
And I'm Dr. Matthew Caviola. Today we're coming to you from our naturopathic medical clinic, Conscious Human Medicine in Santa Monica, California. Are you looking for more energy? Today, in our future videos, we're going to try to give you great tips on ways that you can boost your energy levels. So today we're going to focus on hormones and how they can boost your energy levels.
Exactly. And you might have heard about them, but not know exactly what hormones are. So hormones are, you can think of them as chemical messengers. They're these tiny molecules that move about in your body, and they're secreted from these organs that are part of your, what we call endocrine system. And they pretty much rule our world. They play a huge role in how we experience the world and our mood, our metabolism, and we're going to talk a lot about that. And particularly, the reason why we're starting this whole energy topic by talking about hormones is because your hormones and the balance of your endocrine system, or in other words, your hormonal system, plays such a role in your energy levels. So let's take, for example, thyroid. Maybe kind of giving context will allow you to have a better understanding. Your thyroid hormone, produced by your thyroid gland, is in charge of your metabolism, your temperature, your mood, and a lot of other functions. But if you just think about your, let's say, metabolism, and metabolism actually is more than just your weight. A lot of us, associate metabolism with just, whether we're gaining weight, losing weight, or, wanting to stabilize it. But it's much more than that. It's actually how fast and how easily we extract nutrients from our food and how we deliver them to cells, which is really where they can be put to use and produce energy for us. So you want to say something more about?
Absolutely. So that's really, really key, is that, obviously being able to extract the nutrients to get the energy is so important, right? To have energy, we have to have the metabolism to be able to do so.
Absolutely.
So one of the other big players in terms of hormones, another part of our endocrine system, is the adrenal glands. And the adrenal glands are two pyramidal shaped glands that sit on top of your kidneys and are really, really important for stress management and also for energy production as well. What's interesting is that a lot of these hormone centers, as we call them, basically they kind of all function in chorus with one another.
Absolutely.
And they're, to be able to regulate all these different parameters of your health, including energy, they're kind of always going up and down depending on what's happening in your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you have lots of stress, some of these different hormone centers can be robbed. For example, if you're under chronic stress for a long period of time, your adrenal glands can take the hit. And unfortunately, if they start to burn out, or if they're not producing enough of their hormones, things like cortisol, the thyroid gland has to pick up the slack, right? It's like, hello adrenals, do your job better, right? And so basically the thyroid starts to burn out over time as well. And so what we do is to be able to start to help people identify if those things are out of balance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, one of the ways that we determine whether or not your hormonal system is functioning in balance, like you were saying, Dr. Caviola, it's, for the sake of time, we're, let's say, talking about adrenals and thyroid in this video, or maybe sex hormones in future videos. But remember that your endocrine system is much more than just these particular glands. Insulin is, for example, another hormone. But point being is, one way that we can address, or we can determine whether your endocrine system is in balance, is via testing. And of course, in addition to your symptoms, listening to your symptoms. And depending on what hormonal organ or endocrine organ we're looking at, one way of testing might be better than another, or might give us certain form of information that we need, for example, that can be more useful. In the case of thyroid, for instance, we prefer blood testing, looking at conventionally, a lot of times when docs look at your thyroid function, they first only look at your what we call TSH, which is not actually a thyroid hormone. It's a brain hormone that communicates to your thyroid gland to be producing thyroid hormone. But it's what we've seen, that sometimes your TSH can be normal, but your actual thyroid hormones are not. So we need to look at that. We need to look at the actual thyroid hormones, T3 and T4, and free T3, free T4. And also, if there is a potential for autoimmunity, which we don't have time to get into that in this video, we need to also look at your antibodies. So that's kind of a brief info on thyroid testing.
Right, exactly. So basically, if you have low energy, if that is one of your symptoms, we as naturopathic doctors take a deeper dive and try to understand, hey, is the thyroid gland contributing to your low energy? And another big hormone that we do look at is the adrenal glands. And the way that this is tested is through saliva. It's one of the best methodologies to be able to determine if you have adrenal fatigue or sluggish adrenal gland function, basically. So what we do is we have you collect at home, usually in the comfort of your own home, your saliva 4 times throughout the day, morning, afternoon, late afternoon, and then bedtime. And what that does is it basically gives us a rhythm to look at your cortisol levels throughout the day. And that really, a lot of people have low energy in the morning or low energy in the afternoon. So basically what we do is identify first and foremost if the adrenals are contributing to your low energy, and if it's contributing at particular times throughout the day. And usually it matches up 1-to-1 in terms of what shows up on the rhythm. So these 2 tests are fantastic and a great starting point to identify if either the thyroid and or the adrenals are contributing to your fatigue or your low energy problems, or just trying to figure out a way to get your energy boosted back up again.
Absolutely.
So.
And remember that, good docs don't just look at one value and prescribe based on that. What they do is actually look at the pattern and integrate all the information, that the story that they've heard from you, the timeline of your symptoms, and the result of the testing, and what your goals are. All of these things need to be taken into consideration before any recommendations are made.
Absolutely, absolutely. So stick around for our next video, because next time we're going to be talking about great ways to be able to boost these hormones if they're out of balance, and get your endocrine system firing back in all cylinders again, and hopefully get your energy boosted too.
Yes, and if you're enjoying and finding this information valuable, please subscribe and share.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.